Ah, oh. Well, back to OG Siberia, boys and girls. I did a little bit of terraforming yesterday, and then literally my head started to hurt. And it was like 5 or 6 in the morning, so I just went to sleep. But yeah, this game, as we all know it, isn't easy, it's taxing. Siberia Prime. Sure. We're still not done with terraforming, like I actually need space for a decent city. And somehow connection to NATO and second Soviet border, right? I mean, if I flatten this hill, I will have a lot of space. How bad is it? I mean, how tall is it, though? It's pretty tall, 150 meters, that's not a joke at all. Compared to 73, like that is a massive difference. Problem is, I can't get a yellow line because I flattened this complete terrain. Maybe this will help. I really don't want this bad terrain here, to be honest. I need for every inch of space possible here. I'm spending money over there. Fuck, I just spent 6k, that's not a joke. Let me just check, for instance, if I can build over here. Yeah, with a little bit of terraforming, right? Okay. This will be the most important part. If I can flatten a part of this mountain, that would be insane. Fuck, I got the water here. You see, what I'm trying to do now is just break this red line and make it a buildable area. Ah. You see, guys, all we're trying to do for now is break these red lines because they are obstructing us from building in that area. So if we remove red lines or make them yellow, that means we can build on that terrain, which is what I'm looking for, right? I just want to deal with this part. This is the annoying part. I kind of want to have this area free for the city. You see how nicely we are removing most of those red lines? They're becoming yellow. Exactly what we need. Okay, now we should be able to like smooth out this terrain and make it walkable. Look at that, guys, beautiful. I'm looking to get a little bit of space over here. I think I like this pretty much. This should be enough space for like a decent city. Should be enough. Yes, listen. foreign workers do not cost that much. They cost like 2 to 3,000 per month. So essentially foreign workers are not the biggest problem, and they're very valuable, right? Because for instance, if you saw my last Arabia run, I was using foreign workers for the whole game to supply my incinerator with workers, right? And it was making like, let's say, $14,000 per month, and I was paying those foreign workers like 3,000. So all in all, good, right? I could use my workers for something else. Now, Lipe, pay close attention. I'm starting in few minutes. The most important part is how you actually start and how you plan your layout. You saw how much time I spent just to make this part of the map like a good area, right? You can see that I used a lot of this is very good, like a grass runway. You can use it to flatten terrain and to push water, right? And then once you have enough space, if you see these red lines, right? Red lines means you can't build here 100%. So once you finish that, you go to this, you go for terrain smooth, you put your mouse up to make the biggest circle possible, not the smallest, but the biggest, right? And then you smooth out the terrain to practically create equal areas. See, red lines are disappearing, meaning that I will be able to build here, right? So first phase is get as much terrain as possible and then equalize the elevations. You want to remove red lines and only have white, worst case scenario yellow, right? You're following me? I told you, road transport is the worst as the time gets over. In early DLC, if you have early DLC, you want to go for trains as soon as possible, and I will show you right now how you actually go for trains, okay? So let's do it. First thing that you need to think about is where do I want to position my industry and where my first city is going to be, right? So I'm taking a look over here. Obviously this is my main road and customs house, which is like the most important piece of the equation, right? So when I think about it, I want my rail sector to be around this area, right? All of the buildings that are connected to rail and rail maintenance, right? And then what I kind of want to do is probably put industry here alongside the river so that my trains can just go pick up things, go back and give it in, right? Which probably means that my city is going to be around this area, right? So you don't have early DLC. Early DLC just makes it a lot harder, but this applies to any type of the game, right? Normal or early DLC. What is next thing important for early DLC? In early DLC, you only have very old vehicles which are extremely slow, right? So they are very, very inefficient. In general, you don't want to build your city far away from the border. Let's say I have a nice area here, right? Right, Lipe, this is a perfect area for the city. Holy fuck, I can make a gigantic city here, right? Wrong for early DLC. It's too far away. Like, my cars and trucks are so slow and inefficient, it would take them hours to travel to here and back. Which again, if you are not playing early DLC, you actually can consider making a city here, if it's a better spot, right? Which actually makes me think, Lipe, I'm starting to think that we will make this industrial sector and that we will actually build a big city over here, like a huge city. Or we can go like a small city here at the industry plus like huge city over here, and then expansion into oil, and we saw that oil is around here, right? So again, these are all of my options. I'm just thinking about it right now. And still what I think, if I was starting normal DLC, I would actually put industry here and my main city here. But since I'm starting early DLC and my vehicles are too slow and too useless, I'm probably going to put a small city here first and build up my economy, right? The most important thing for us is just to get a good start, right? What is the next thing that we are thinking about? Well, if I'm putting my city here, I actually first want to plan my industry, because my industry will cause pollution. Now, I want to check this area, how big it is and how much space I have, and I really don't like it. Yeah, I'm actually completely now thinking about building the city here and industry here, because some of my industry actually does pollution on more than 450 meters. So let's imagine the best case scenario, like I put my clothing industry here, it still needs 450 meters or it will cause pollution, right? Which doesn't give me... Okay, from this spot it's good, but like let's say I put it here, like this whole area is blocked, I can't build a city here. And then again, if I put my clothing industry here, then I know I don't have enough space for like everything that my rail network needs, right? So most probably the first city will happen here. Now let's pre-plan for that, right? With that in mind, our road will probably go like this. We're always building a mud road first. I want to zoom out to get a bit better picture. If that is the case, my road will go like this. Over here. And then it will go over here. That's a bad road, it's not connecting. Then it will go like this, right? And the second road will go alongside like this. So now we are connecting here. What I'm thinking about is probably this will be the main city area. So I will mark it like this, just so I have like a better idea where and why I'm building, right? Let's just connect this for now, and we will think about it later, right? So, now I will have in mind that my start will actually be terribly slow, because I'm building so far away from the customs house, although we have a really nice amount of space over here to build up industry and everything, right? Okay, now let's think a bit about rail, how I want my rail to look like. So it will probably go like this, to have some space, right? This will be the third line, which will like connect into this. Something like this, right? And then rail will most probably go like this. And I want the rail not to take too much space, right? So I want my rail to go along the river bank like this. That is what you usually do with the rail. And from here we will have connections into different industries, right? So again, we're moving the rail. It's okay to do it like this. And like this. Nice. Okay, this mountain is kinda creating an obstacle, so I will think about smoothing it out a little bit, but I don't have space. So I will just try to put the rail over it. Okay, it will go, no problem there. Nice. And now my main rail line. I'm looking for green because I don't want to pay. Okay, here we will have to bring an excavator and move the rail further, right? You know what? I think I'm changing my mind again. I think I will go with the first small city over here. And in that case, the city would look like this, right? It's not going to be the biggest city ever by any means. But this is still a decent chunk of land, right? I want to make sure that my firefighters will have access, fast access to most of the buildings, right? Which probably means that the bus station will be somewhere around here. Since that is the main line towards the city, I want to do it double, like this, right? And technically we can also do a double line over here, why not? Which also means I want kinda to have double line here, like this. Okay, with that we have some things figured out. Question is how much traffic is gonna happen here. Probably a lot at the start. I do not want to overload this customs house. First thing I want to think about is where my clothing industry will be, right? Because let's do a little bit of math, right? This is very important for you to know. Clothing industry is usually a starting industry. So we can see that clothing factory, you can see half of the cloud when you look at environmental pollution, right? You're paying attention. How calculation for pollution is usually done is one cloud is around 250 to 300 meters, but one thing that you need to remember when it comes to pollution is that first cloud is stronger, so first cloud can go way further than 250 or 300 meters. Also, if I combine like multiple industries together in a closed space, which I will definitely do when it comes to clothing industry, right? That practically means that it will create a lot more pollution. So let's go with fabric factory. We can see 250 to 300 meters, but it will add up with two clothing factories, which are like half of the cloud, right? So I'm calculating here that my clothing industry will probably cause pollution on up to 400 meters. So in that vicinity, I don't want to have any residential buildings or it will cause pollution and my citizens will live shorter, right? Which is one of the biggest problems in the late game. So let's think about it this way, right? First thing I will want is rail construction office. And I kinda want it to be as close to the border as possible, right? because I want my citizens to go here and build my rail network as soon as possible. That is the main thing I'm paying attention to, right? So I will try to position rail construction office a little bit closer to my city, but I also want it to be very close to the starting point, so I can build up my rail as fast as humanly possible, right? Okay, let's go with it like this. 2 lines here, 1 connecting into this, completely fine. And now we will make a T intersection. We will try to make it as small as possible. Okay, I like this. And now I will try to connect it here. Not good enough, it needs to be longer just a little bit, right? I can technically connect it here and then try again. Good, that's a nice T intersection, right? Now we will pull the next one here and mimic on the other side. So this one will go here. And this side will go here like this, but it's too close. Let's start from here. Too close again. Okay, a bit further. And there we go. We got it, right? Do you know how to build these T intersections? Because they're very important. If you do not know how to build a T intersection properly, your trains will get stuck. And that's like one of the worst things that can happen. So right now I'm thinking about industry. I put my industry here. It will kinda be too close to the city, right? I'm looking for around 400 meters of free space. Starting from around here. This is still where I want to build some of my buildings, right? So how much space do I have? 360, 400, not enough. It's not going to go here. Which makes me think that I'm probably going to put my clothing industry somewhere around here. Or technically I could put it way further here, but it will also block my area around here. So let's imagine a clothing industry over here. What do I need for clothing industry? I need a big warehouse. With rail, of course. I don't necessarily need the biggest warehouse, right? This one will be fine. Let's imagine it like this. Okay. Something like this. I still need space for T intersection, right? So how do we build clothing industry? First, we have fabric factory. It's the most important part. Fabric factory always goes in the middle. Probably gonna put it like this, right? Sure works for me. And then 2 clothing factories around, which are connecting both into fabric factory. Okay, fabric factory is clearly positioned, I can see that. So I wanna do it like this, right? I think I like this. Yeah, something like this, and then we will go clothing factory, one over here. See, it connects into both. Very good, exactly what I'm looking for. And then same clothing factory on the other side, like this. Good, it connects into both, right? I can maybe do it like this, put it closer, spend less money. Good. So check one more time. Fabric factory connected into warehouse, connected into both clothing factories, and both clothing factories have connection with fabric and warehouse, right? This is all I need for my clothing industry. Now let's connect the rail, right? We have a single rail over here, which I kind of want to make double at some point, like this. This will kind of not be enough space, I don't like it. I want it to go all the way to the corner. Why this industry's type? Because clothing is essentially your... I call it carry industry, because clothing requires a lot of resources. It requires water, manpower, chemicals. But it produces most money out of almost all industries. And the price of clothing goes up the whole game, and it goes up a lot. If you saw my last map, Arabia, you probably saw that one of my trains picked up like 30 or 40 tons of clothing and was selling it for like 80, 90, 100,000 rubles. So it is, I would say, clothing is a staple. Like, this is one of the best starting industries that you can have. Makes sense? Okay, I like this way more. See how much more space I have right now, because I optimized it a bit better, which gives me a lot more space to make a T intersection here, right? So we will go something like this and something like this, connecting here. I still need a bit more space. Probably connecting like this. Okay, good. Yeah, generally I advise you, for me, two best starting industries are either clothing or incinerator. Other industries are slower and produce less money, and for your first industry, you want it to produce as much money as possible, right? I mean, it's very simple. You want your first industry to be strong and to be efficient, right? Another T intersection here. Good, I like this. We can connect into this. Nice. This guy is going here. And finally, this one is connecting here. That is a nice T intersection. I don't mind going like this, I just needed a bit more space here. Okay, pretty solid, not bad. Now, I will also have to think about one last industry, which also does a solid amount of pollution, and that is food and alcohol industry, right? Problem is, food industry doesn't do a lot of pollution, but alcohol does. So, I would be a lot happier if I put alcohol here. I would really not like to put it here, because let's say 400 meters or more, like that would be terrible. That means I cannot build at all in this sector, which means all of my residential buildings will be over here, right? And then all of the infrastructure that is not for residential, not buildings where people live, will go over here, which makes sense. That is exactly how I'm going to build. But I'm still thinking about it. I would still like probably clothing industry to be here, and actually food and distillery to be around here. Yeah, and for that I need more space over here. Let me just imagine, because you see, food industry takes a lot of space. It requires a huge grain storage, first of all, and trust me, the grain storage is gigantic. This one, right? And then it needs a warehouse in the middle to be connected to. So again, it requires something like this with a rail. Okay, this one also, sorry, this one also needs to have rail. Yeah, this will be kind of complicated to plan in this area since it's so close. I'm really thinking about moving this clothing industry actually here. So yeah, I'm definitely going to rework it. And I need more space in this area. So with that, we're going to do this simply. I simply need more space. We're going to do this. Sorry for that. The angle is bad for the connection, so I need to extend it a little bit, and now I can connect over here. Okay, not terrible. With this we free a lot more space, right? Which is really important. And we will keep it going as far as we can next to the water, right? Okay, good. See how much space we have now. Way better. Always think about what you build, right? My first build looked nice, but we just simply didn't have enough space, and with this build, look how much space we gain. Like, look at this, it's so much better. Okay, now I can think about my food industry because it's bigger. It's going to take a lot of space. I'm going to build it later. I always go clothing, incinerator, food. Okay, so let's start with food industry first because it's bigger. It requires a lot more space. First, we need this grain storage, right? We need this grain storage. And this grain storage needs to have a train connection, right? So let's imagine it. I want to put it somewhere. I want to use as much space as possible. Let's say I want to put it around here, right? Let's imagine how the rest of the build will look like, right? Next thing is we need storage connected to this grain house because our food and alcohol industry will soak food from this. They will take food from the grain storage and then they will send food and alcohol into the warehouse. So we need all of it to be connected, right? Let's see here. Okay, warehouse. I don't need the biggest one. I'm fine with this one. Completely fine with this. This also needs to have a rail connection. Pay attention, because I need train to drop grain here, to drop crops, and then I need a train to pick up from the warehouse to pick up food and alcohol, and later take it to my food sector, to my markets, right? Because I will look to connect them with rail. And that is the main upside of doing everything with trains. They're fast, they're good, they're reliable. And you don't spend money on fuel, right? So I'm imagining here we will need a lot of space for the warehouse to connect with a T intersection. So I'm right now thinking something like this. Okay, not terrible. Let's imagine alcohol industry here. So that is distillery. It needs to connect into both. Okay, it has both connections. I will try to put it as far north as possible so I gain space for my city, right? So alcohol will be like this. Sure, that works for me. And now we want to fit in food industry here, right? A food factory which will connect into both here. When I think about it, food does less pollution than alcohol, but like this is smaller. I have better space to fit it in. I will go with food factory here. Like this. Okay, I don't mind this. Let's say something like this. Good. So, my distillery has connection into grain. It creates alcohol out of crops. It puts them into warehouse. GG. Food factory has connection into grain. Takes grain, makes food, puts it into the warehouse. GG. That's all I need. So, let's plan the rail network now. I'm not sure if I will have enough space. I would like to have a lot more space for this, honestly. Can I do something like this to give it more space, like at the intersection here? Okay, that is a nice small T intersection. This is good. I just needed to connect here. Unfortunately not. Maybe from here. Okay, now it wants. Perfection, T intersection. Now, let's imagine it like this. I will need a lot of space for the trains here. So it will go like this. And this one can connect into it. Okay, it's too sharp. Let's not do that. Alright, let's connect this one first. Good. And then we can go with this one connecting like this. I still want to make it a bit further. And maybe connect now. Okay, let me look at this. This doesn't look terrible, honestly. I remember I need trains to be very long, because some of the trains carrying grain here will be extremely long. And I don't want to get my trains... you know, I don't want my trains to get stuck. Next intersection, we will probably do it here, just to be safe. Make it a bit further. Can we get a tea? We can, good. Nice. Okay. Too close. We'll do it from here. Nice, that is a nice second T intersection. And it is probably going to go like this, right? Solid amount of space. And then connecting like... sorry. Okay, good amount of space for the trains. Shouldn't be a big of an issue. They go here, they pick up food and alcohol, and then they will take it down the line to the city, right? Okay, let's go with the rail distribution office. Again, I want my T intersection to be a bit further. We will do it like this. Nice. Okay. Not the best T intersection ever, but it's not terrible, you know. Which kinda makes me want to build this a bit closer, just so I don't waste too much space. But then again, I want to have my citizens in vicinity of this. Oh, it's so far away. And let's check how far away my food industry is for pollution, right? I wanna know until where I can build. So we said this one is a cloud and a half, right? For alcohol. For food it's cloud and a little bit more. I would say this can throw pollution to at least 450 up to 500 meters. So let's do it again. 500 meters. Okay, not bad. Not bad. I can build here. I can even build residential buildings here, right? Which is really good. I like that. So, before I even get into building this distribution office, I actually want to do the clothing industry here, right? Just so we have like more space because of pollution here and here. We can even build residential area here. Our industry will be packed over there, right? So, let's go with the clothing industry. So I have already showed you how the layout for clothing industry looks like. It's pretty simple. We go warehouse. I'm going to try to make it as far north as possible. Something like this, I don't mind it. We don't need this connection. And then we want a fabric factory. Fabric factory going like this. Can put it as close as possible, humanly. And then clothing factory. One over here. Sure. Can I put it like this? I can, nice. Gives me more space. And then one over here. I need it like this. Okay, this also works. Sure. Let's imagine rail. Rail is going like this. Into my T intersection. And then a second line like this. Connecting over there. Nice. Maybe connect it a bit sooner because the trains are going to be long. Yeah, this should be more than enough. So the only part I'm scared about is this one over here. I would like it to have like 150 meters. But yeah, it's not going to have. It is what it is though. And then finally I can do my rail construction office. What I'm thinking about is just connecting it over here so I don't waste too much space, right? Although that could create some problems, so I'm going to refrain from that. And I will just do it over here. Okay, good. With that, rail construction office can be somewhere around here, right? And yeah, with that, Lipe, we have finally planned our industry. So this is how our initial starting industry will look like, okay? So now, remember, you always want to plan your industry first and then build your housing sector around it. Where most of the people make mistake is they build a city first and then they build industry and then something is wrong. They do not have enough space or there is pollution in the city, etc, etc, right? It just creates more problems. With this, you always build the rail and industry first and then you build a city around it. So how will I start my game? I will build up my city. I will first build this warehouse and these industries over here, and only then I will actually commit to some other industry. Now, just give me a second, I need to grab papers for my Siggies and roll a Siggy, and then we will construct probably the most important part, Leap. We will plan our main city, and during Arabia, I almost figured out a perfect setup. So this is something I advise you to pay attention to and try to copy, okay? Because my city layout on Arabia was pitch perfect. Like every citizen was able to reach everything, which is what you want, right? Having lunch and watching. Perfect. Have a pleasant meal, bro. You're gonna enjoy this. Now we're getting to the serious part, right? Okay, so next, Lipe, we have to remember one thing. Before I start building my residential area, we need to remember that I need to connect all my buildings with road. Very simple. But we also have to remember that it will take time to build up my rail network, right? So at the start, we will actually have to transfer the food and clothing and everything using our trucks, right? And that is where a road cargo station comes in handy. It's always good to have it connected to a warehouse. So now I'm going to plan roads around the industry and give our industries a road cargo station where our trucks can load and unload faster. You don't want your truck to go into a warehouse because it loads slower, it wastes time, right? So let us do it for this. I don't need my trucks to pick up grain, but I do need my trucks to pick up food and alcohol, right? And take it to the city at some point. So a road cargo station here, definitely. Let's go with it. I don't need the biggest one with 6. I think the one with 4 will be more than fine. What is the difference? There's no difference. This one is more steel, this one is less steel. And less work days, but a bit more concrete and asphalt. Less steel is always good in my book. Steel is usually the priciest. Okay, let's do the road connections. So my road cargo station has a connection over there. I want it like this. Good, I like this. So it will connect over here like this. Into both of these, because it can go here or here. Depends if he's gonna sell or not. I'm just going to connect this distillery, right? So it has access, so they can build it later. Same goes for this grain storage over here. This one needs 2 connections, and that's it for here. Now also our warehouse will need a connection. Second warehouse will be connected into it. Now, before I go any further, stop. Our second warehouse will also need a road cargo station, right? Aha, okay, and I can see that I made a problem here, so now I will fix it. We need a bit more space, right? So let's start with road cargo station for this. Nice, I like this. And we will literally build 2 road cargo stations next to each other. I don't mind that. That way it will be like a bit more optimal for our workers, right? For our trucks. Very nice. Okay. Which actually makes me think that I want a double road here. Why not a double road, honestly? And here it can become a single road, because from here it doesn't really matter. Okay. And I don't want them to connect here to create too much traffic. So probably I don't want them also close to here. This is where a lot of traffic will happen, right? So I will probably connect them somewhere around here. Okay, I like that. Very nice setup. So road cargo stations, here is where we pick up goods. We can take them here, or we can take them down to the city, and we have double road, right? Perfect. Now let's connect the rest of these buildings with the road. You see, what I kinda don't like here is that our firefighters will probably have a very hard time reaching this building if it goes on fire. I will have to connect it like this. But again, it will not be terrible. Hopefully they should be able to reach it. So we're just going to do it like this. Connect these over here, a little road over there. Going like this. This will be just like a service road, right? Nothing special. I can also connect it here so I don't waste space. I don't mind that, honestly. Connecting it. Oh yeah, oh actually this will be one of the main roads. What am I saying? This will be one of the most important roads because this is where all of our workers are going to be taken by buses, right? So let's think about this road well, right? Do I want to connect here? Probably not. I kinda wanna do it more like this. Something like that, I don't mind. And then we need to think, where are we going to position our bus station? We need our bus station to be able to reach all of the industries, right? Let's say if I put it here, I'm honestly not sure if they're going to be able to reach this. What is like the walking range over there? 250 meters and 220 meters. Honestly, I'm thinking about putting the bus station here and connecting it to there and there. I can also build an underpass, so at the end of the day it's not a huge problem. We can put the bus station here. Actually, we will do it on the other side because I want containers for the industry here. So this is where the buses are going to come, to turn, and to go back. Sure, works for me. And then we can later connect this with these two. They should be within walking range if we put down a under passage. And with that, Lipe, I think all of our starting industry is planned, so now we can commit to the city. But before I do that, I want to do one last utility thing, and that is I want to connect to NATO. I definitely want to connect to NATO, which is in a very bad spot. Probably like this. And then also, maybe more importantly, I want to connect to our second border here so I can build an incinerator, because incinerator is one of my main industries, right? So let's start first thinking about that. Now, this will cost me money if I try to terraform, so I will just try to do a road. I don't think any road will go over this huge-ass mountain. Yeah, definitely some terraforming will need to be done here. What about NATO? Can we get to them easier? Already a huge slope. Yeah, this is a challenge of this map, that it's just, you know, it has terrible angles and stuff. Technically, what I can do here, I can put one of my construction offices, right? And just put one NATO excavator in it, and then fix this terrain. That is the idea that I genuinely like. Okay, nice. Let's go with this. Okay, perfect. So now, how can I connect? Holy fuck, this mountain. How can I connect in a fastest possible way? This map is a disaster, honestly. Remember, when you are going down the mountain, make small pieces of road and it will work. If you try to make a big road, it will not connect because the mountain is too steep. Perfect! There we go. Nice, nice, nice. So how do I want to do this? I kind of want to pass... Oi, 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 this mountain, bro. I don't think we can even get over this mountain, but we will try. We will definitely give it a valiant try. I need connection to NATO always because I need to buy stuff from them throughout the game. Like this bulldozer that they have is extremely good. Pay attention to this. This is not a bulldozer. This is excavator and bulldozer at the same time. And it costs only $6,000. And remember, I have like $280,000 at start, so I want also to use my dollars and rubles. If I do not connect to NATO, I will not use my dollars, which is not good, right? Because this is free. Like, this is free money that I have, right? And later, I definitely want to send some resources to NATO to sell them, so I can buy cargo wagons, because NATO has really, really good cargo wagons, and they also have really good buses, around 50s to 60s, okay? You always want to connect to NATO, no matter what game you play. This is why you always look for this spot on the map, where top right or bottom, top left or bottom right corner, where NATO connects to Soviet, because you want to have both connections always, okay? It will take a little bit of time, definitely, but it will be worth it, trust me. You always want to connect to NATO, always. I mean, getting over this mountain will prove to be a real challenge. Let me start to think about this part. This is where we will connect to NATO. Fuck, am I spending money or not? I'm pretty sure I spent money there. I need to bring my bulldozer closer. Yeah, I can go around this mountain with a road and connect it, and this is where the oil field is, somewhere around here, right? Here. So I wouldn't mind doing that. But I also want the fastest and closest connection possible. Lipe, that is beyond terrible. Like, always, there's not a single game where you shouldn't trade with NATO. Look at it this way. Soviets are your main hub for trading and for starting, but NATO is your second. So, like, usually 70% of your trade should be with Soviets, 30 to 40% with NATO. And especially, look at this. You have $280,000 at the start. Use them. Why not use them, right? It's free money. At least spend it. Like, buy 20 bulldozers. It's going to speed up everything that you do. Because it's a bulldozer plus excavator, right? It's not one. It's 2 in 1, which is huge. This will of course take a little bit of time, but it's something that needs to be done. Without a NATO connection, we would not be in a good position. My god, this excavator needs a lot of time to flatten this. It's a terrible terrain. I can't imagine what will happen towards top of that mountain, guys. It's gonna be a disaster. Okay, finally he's fixing most of the terrain here. It's starting to look very good. Oh, yeah, he's starting to spend money because it's too far away from him. I just spent like 800 rubles, which is terrible. Make sure that your excavators are within range of your road, or you will spend money doing this. Yeah, looks way better. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna now bring him closer so he can work on this part of the road, because this will be a huge hurdle. Like, look at this. I can't imagine what the elevation of this mountain is. Holy fuck, it's 400 meters, dropping down to 100 like this. So getting a road through here will be close to impossible challenge, but we will definitely try it, because how I want a perfect road is, you can see it clearly, right? This is our main hub. We're going with a road like this, turning here, here, and then probably over here. And then I want the road to go probably like this and connect into this. And then later the road will go here and connect to our main oil field, which is here. Actually, rail will go there, but we will also need a road, right? Yeah, let me think about it. Now we can build another construction office and reposition him closer to this. Okay, I will order him to move his ass. Oh, unfortunately, he has no fuel. I'm hoping that he will be able to move to here without refueling. Ah, he will, because it's a direct order, like to go to a different workplace. Good. Now I'm going to take a second to freeze this, because I don't want to waste work time as he is moving, and I will pre-plan the second thing, which is, can we get a road from this spot? Yeah, bro, this is probably one of the worst roads that I have ever built, but it's a challenge. It's a challenge of this map. This is one of the hardest maps in the game, and it makes sense for this to be like a terrible mountainous region, right? Do you think that people in Siberia had a fun time or easy time building roads in minus 40 degrees on mountains, you know? Like, it is what it is, right? Like Ural region looks like a baby compared to some parts of Siberia, and trust me, even there people struggle a lot. So far I like how this road is going. It's a lot easier than the NATO, right? NATO is really terrible. They made it intentionally, right? Yeah, some very nice area over here for roads. But here we get to the problem, actually. Holy fuck, this is a huge problem. We definitely want the road to go like this, over this mountain and connect with them, right? Yeah, guys, definitely some terrain challenges, that's for sure. Like, I'm trying to imagine a road that will go through here, but I'm not sure where. Like, maybe here, right? All I can do is do a little bit of, like, terrain smoothing. Okay, this will work. This is actually a nice slope. I'm pretty sure we will put up a road here once we like smooth it out a little bit. Look at this, perfection. The red lines are slowly disappearing. Okay, that is a nice curve on top. So we will definitely be able to put a road through here with a little bit of work. I'm imagining a road going down like this. It's still too steep. EU, terrible spot. Nice. Now we get to the real challenge. Where's our second road? Holy fuck. It's around here in Narnia. So the fastest we can collect is like this over this mountain. So we have to dig through here. This is like the mines of Moria, guys. Holy fuck. It's nice. How the fuck is this nice? Look at this map. It's fucking terrible. Oh, yeah. We're spending money. We're too far away. Not the worst, but like getting over this mountain, like what is just the height difference? I need to check how bad it is. 200 meters, and over here we have 400. 300, 400, like, oof, this whole patch is 300 to 400 meters. Maybe I can put up a road here, you know, behind the mountain, like go behind its ass over here. I feel that will be a good idea. But we will definitely think about it, which makes me think I could put a road like this. We don't want to go too far away for now. Let's go back to our industrial sector. It's over, so now let's focus on utilities, right? How much space do I have to work with? We said 400 meters at the least from here. This is good. Yeah, 500. So practically I just want to build residential buildings over here, but all of this can be residential buildings, which is really nice. So bus station, where will we put the bus station, guys? I honestly think a bus station either goes here or here. Actually, if you saw my last setup, I did a double bus station. So I honestly don't even think we will need a double road here. Like one is enough. I want more space for buildings. Do I want a double road here? Probably not. Everything is going to be done by train. You have an option to go for the biggest bus station, which is like 2,000 people, but I like this one a lot more, and most of people use this one with 800 because it has two entrances, so you can like upgrade the street on this part and the station will not get blocked. If you go for a station that has only one road, it can lead to like, you know, huge issues, if that makes sense. Yeah, this map is definitely going to be a challenge. I can't build a bus station in the middle of the city, bro. I need them to smooth the terrain here. You know what, bro? You fucking deserve a taxiway here. Finally, guys, we managed to build one building after 5 minutes. Holy fuck, this is going to be fun. And every time I do this, I will need to play with terrain smooth to, like, you know, fix the terrain around this. So, Lipe, what is the next thing? Now we want our markets, and now I will show you the biggest catch that I have done and biggest improvement in the game, and this will help you a lot. And that is to do everything by train, okay? You're probably wondering how. Well, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to slap a warehouse over here. It doesn't have to, again, to be the biggest one, but it needs to be a solid one. I would say at least this one. Oh my god, the terrain is beyond terrible. Oh my god, there will be so many issues here. We will build the biggest shopping center available, which is this one. Then we need to connect it to the meat storage. And that meat storage needs to also connect into the second market. So I'm imagining it something like this, or maybe this. Then where would the second market be? Let me put the warehouse here first, and then I will think about it. fucking perfection. Do you see that? That is the catch. So 2 markets connected to a warehouse where we will deliver food, clothing, and alcohol are going in this. And we have meat storage connected to both. Now, what do we want? A road cargo station, right? Because we want to take alcohol from this storage and deliver it to the pub, right? So let's do the road cargo station. Man, I don't like these angles. See, this would be perfect if it had a connection on the left side, but it doesn't. It is what it is. Probably cannot connect because the terrain is terrible here, right? You see, this will be a problem. I already had this problem, like the factory connection will not connect here because of the terrain. And that is extremely annoying. I could put it on this side, actually. I mean, listen, this works. Or it doesn't work. Is this even connected now? I'm honestly not sure. Let me redo it. Okay, now it should be. Good, with that we have the main food sector, right? So this is where alcohol will arrive, food, clothing, both markets are connected, both markets have the, how's it called, meat storage connection. Really good, right? Let's go for the next step. I will also want a second bus station for the further expansion, and it needs to be within range of all of this. So regarding the second bus station, I'm pretty much thinking about putting it here. I don't mind that. Okay, good. So now see how big coverage we have. This will be the walking range. Remember, you're here, Leaper, right? Like, one important thing for you to know is that your citizens can reach any building that they need, and they have needs, right? They need to go to the shop, they need to visit indoor pool for sports, they need to visit cinema for culture, right? They can go to all of those places if they can reach the bus station. So that is the only important thing. But also they need to be able to reach kindergarten. So all you need to do when it comes to residential buildings, make sure they can reach a bus station and kindergarten. Everything else is fine. Okay? um, okay, perfect. With that, everything will be delivered by train. No, kindergarten for start. I don't put orphanage at the start because orphanage is a waste of resources. You only get orphans once you have too many prisoners. And even the police station, crime becomes problem only if you have like above 1,500 citizens. So you don't want to build orphanage at the start. You want kindergarten. Police station after 1,500 citizens. And with this, you see, this is like a perfect layout for a huge starting city. We have a bus station 1 covering this part, bus station 2 covering this part, right? We have 2 markets connected to a meat storage, both connected to a warehouse where I will send all of the food, clothing and alcohol, right? Then we have a road cargo station. They pick up alcohol from here and send it to pub number 1 and pub number 2. This is actually cafe. It's even better than a pub. I'll explain later why. Because you put alcohol price here to the max, and then you will get happiness bonus, but they will not drink that much because it costs too much, and then it will not cause, you know, health issues. So very good thing to build, cafe. You can even maybe build 2 of them instead of a pub, but I usually go 1 pub, 1 cafe. And then we have cinema, indoor pool. So everything that our citizens need is inside this sector, which is perfect. And then additionally, I put a fire station here, just because it's a good spot so it can cover the city and industries, right? And then we have a hospital over here, because I planned for my first housing sector. Which building? Bus station. Depends on the footpaths that you use. So at the start I usually go for mud and then I upgrade them into gravel. And with gravel footpaths your citizens can reach between 380 to like 400 and something meters. So I can already put some buildings really far away. If I upgrade this to gravel, I can for instance slap a residential building over here, right? And it will still probably have range towards the bus station once I upgrade this to gravel. You see, he even has now with a mud footpath. With gravel, I could probably build it even here. Or maybe even here. And that's how you expand. So now that we have a perfect layout, this is like the city core, it's perfect. Now we need to think where are we putting first residential buildings, right? Now, I want my residential buildings to definitely be within range of the firefighters and hospital, and also this construction office, because we're heavily going to focus on rail, right? Which makes me think that the first residential sectors need to be within range of the bus station, right? So they're going to be like within this area. That is what I feel, right? And we're definitely not going to build this bus station first. This will be later expansion. Our first main sector is going to be around here. Makes sense, right? If I put my residential buildings here, they will not be able to reach the rail construction office. And I want my buildings to be within range of the rail construction office. Now let's plan the footpaths a little bit. We can always change them, but I always like to pre-plan them, and they're always following the road like this, as you can see. So I'm going to do one on the opposite side, but first I want to do the bus station because it's the most important thing. So this means footpath here. I just need a little bit more. Like this. And then it can go like this, right? This is what I'm planning. Definitely go like this. And like this over here. We connect hospital. We connect this. And now bus station has a lot of access, right, that we need. Okay, good. That's the footpaths around the bus station. Let's go with this. For now, this will suffice for this part. I can do footpaths also around this bus station, you know, just in preparation. Don't like where that is going. Housing sector first, and then industry. You're gonna see the order. First, I want to make sure that my inner city like has perfect spacing, right? Footpaths are one of the most important things for your citizens to be efficient, right? Okay, good. You notice how everything is interconnected now. I make sure that every building is reachable from all of the possible angles. Very nice. It was an ad time, sorry for that. Okay, we can definitely do also footpaths around the pub. I don't mind doing that for start. Too far. Okay, so far I like this layout very much. It looks good. Everything seems to be easily reachable, right? And now I can start to plan my first housing sectors. This is the city core. It will always work. It's nice. Now we need to think about where are we putting houses, right? And then, very important, where we are putting water and where we are putting heating, because we need to make sure that our citizens can reach heating plants and water on foot. I don't want to deliver them by bus because that is risky, you know. Bus goes late, we don't have people in heating plant, everything goes cold, people die, right? So we want to make sure that water and heating plants are 100% connected by foot. Okay, this is extremely important part. So this is where we're going to pay very close attention and we're gonna do a lot of planning. Because it is not going to be easy, simple or straightforward just like that. So as I've said, I probably want to expand this sector to be housing first, because this is our main bus station from how it looks right now. So let's imagine a few buildings, right? Buildings that we build at the start are these. Brick flats. You see, this is very important thing. Lipe, you're following me, right? I'm not sure if the ad is over, right? Regarding the bus end station, I might use it, I might not. It depends on the situation. Last time my industry and my city main sector were so close that I didn't really need a bus station. I just used buses on constant rotation. Like there was no chance to make a gap when, you know, my bus station is here and then the bus station for workers is here. Like they're just going pop, 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 pop. Like, you know, there's no chance to get clogged. But if my bus station is further from the working sector, which is probably going to happen now, then I will probably, you know, go for the bus end station. But that is definitely not the most important thing right now. You see, we are in the range of the bus station, that means we are in range of everything. After this, we just need to think, where am I going to put the kindergarten, right? And I didn't do one very important thing here, and that is connect this sector. And this. Okay, now it's nice.